There's probably 5 or 6 jewelry stores in there. There's at least 4 shoe stores, all kinds of clothing stores. There's dispensers in there. There's a buckle in there. There's Western wear. All kinds of candy stores in there. Place to buy great big gold chains. Just about anything you can think of. There's somebody to shine your shoes in there if you need your shoes shined up. There's also an IMAX at AMC Theater. It features a 1988 film Alamo, The Price of Freedom in there. It's about 38 minutes long. The Alamo is just to the left of the boat, probably 1,000 feet or less. It's the north mission of 5 San Antonio missions, established by priests of the Franciscan Order in a 10-mile stretch along the San Antonio River here. They established those from 1718 to 1731. We have 5 different boat designs. This is the military boat to honor our military. We have had a strong military presence here in San Antonio for over 300 years. Usually we have the new graduates running around all over downtown, but I think they're shut off right now for the pandemic. We have quite a few military veterans in our fleet as well. So, if you're military, thank you for your service. We do appreciate you. On the left up there, that's the Tricentennial boat. We got our Tricentennial in 2018. As I turn the corner here to the right, under the bridge, there'll be a sculpture of St. Anthony de Padua on the right. And if you look to the left of the boat, just past the bridge, and kind of behind me, you'll see the Tower of the Americas, the theme structure for the 68 World's Fair. It's right there. The Tower of the Americas was designed by San Antonio architect O'Neill Ford. It's 750 feet to the tip there. There's an observation deck and a fancy restaurant at top. They call it the... On the right, you can see the steeple of St. Joseph's Catholic Church through the trees there. In the 1980s, developers started to buy that church out. I don't think they asked very nicely, but eventually they ended up building them all around that church. On the right's Peaks Park. On the left, we usually have some beautiful waterfalls, but they're shut off right now. All the plant life down here is originates. On the right there, that's the San Antonio Chamber of Commerce. We're about a block south of the Alamo right now. If you go up to the Alamo, on the other side of the street, there's souvenir shops that are very, very reasonably priced, and they have some pretty good tourist attractions as well. A wax museum, that'd be probably the best one.
Oh, there's the one there. That's the one.
Okay. Out at San Antonio, the city was in desperate need of modern hotel rooms. A builder named H.B. Zachary stepped up and he put this Hilton Palacio del Rio up here on the left. Not only did he have to complete that in record time, he had to use a modular construction method very new to the day. The rooms were built on the site south of San Antonio. Crews worked 24 hours a day building those rooms. They were completely ready to go when they trucked them into town and put them into place with a special crane. They built that 500-room structure in a world record time of 202 working days, just in time for the 68 World's Fair. There's 100 massive piers that hold that structure into place, and a pretty neat cattle barn in the basement that's open on the weekends. Straight ahead there, that's La Vaida. That was the first site for a soldier station at the Alamo back in 1722. There's some pretty neat higher-end steakhouses there up ahead too. Just about straight ahead of the boat right there is where General Santa Anna had his cannon lines in the Battle of the Alamo. He had the famous cannons north-northeast to hit the Alamo from there. In 1939, they established La Vaida Historic Arts Village. They have shops up there that feature Mexican cultural art. Stuff like painted skulls, Day of the Dead items, stuff like that. It's very affordable as well. Now we're coming up to the Ornison River Theater. This 800-person open-air capacity is named after Edwin Ornison, the Works Project Administration regional engineer, instrumental in securing funding for the project. Completed in 1941, it's where we broadcast our river parades. And on occasion we get a military jazz band or something on the stage. It's very good to see. The swimsuit scene from Miss Congeniality in 2000 was filmed to the stage on the right. That was a movie starring Sandra Bullock back in 2000. The 5 bronze bells behind the stage symbolize the 5 San Antonio missions. Rosita Fernandez was the last person that had a full-time gig on the stage there. She started a summer-long Fiesta Noche del Rio for almost 25 years. Mrs. Rosita's Waterfalls and Sculptures is the Frisco Western Art Museum. The museum preserves and interprets the art, history, and culture of the American West. Highlights include Poncho Villa's last known saddle, an interactive diorama of the Alamo, an hour and a half to go through there at a nice leisurely pace. You can find out more at briscoemuseum.org. Poncho Villa's saddle is quite the sight in there. It's way more than your mind's eye picture of the saddle. This bridge here is 130 years old. The Germans built it. We have 3 of these on the Riverwalk. On the right there, that metal thing's Father Massenet's Table. It's a sculpture completed by Rolando Briseño in '91 to commemorate the first Catholic Mass celebrated here, June 13, 1691. There on Marriage Island when Spanish explorers discovered the San Antonio River. Marriage Island is heart-shaped and formed by the roots of a cypress tree. They say it's a magical place to be married. This is the old mill crossing area. Settlers have crossed here in the 1800s because the river was shallow and the ground was hard packed. Also the site of the Nat Mill doing grind grain for the settlers. Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders like to pass through here frequently in the 1890s as well. On the right there, that's the Weston Hotel. The interior features furnishings and artifacts from a 17th century European castle. It's a real nice, quiet place to dine out on the river as well. On the left there, with the American flag on top, this is the Tower Life building owned by Tower Life Insurance Company. The 8-sided neo-Gothic brick and terracotta design rises to 403 feet and has 30 floors. It was designed by the Aaron Arrow architectural firm. Dwight Eisenhower had an office in the building. They also have San Antonio's first Sears and Roebuck on the first 4 floors. Back when they opened in June 1929, it was the Smith-Young building. The Smith brothers are very superstitious, so they put gargoyle monsters way up at the very top of the building. And then about 60 feet up off the water, those are grotesques there, those ugly faces. Those are meant to ward off evil spirits and bad business. That didn't work very well, and the brothers lost the building due to the Great Depression for about 10 cents on the dollar. It cost about $3 million to build it, and they had to sell it for $300,000. Today it's full of life insurance agents and lawyers. On the right, that's the International Center, and soon to house the trade offices for Canada, Mexico, and the United States. Visit San Antonio Local Convention and Visitors Bureau also have their offices in the building. We have one of our boat marinas in the basement. Straight ahead, that's the Bexar County Courthouse. It was finished in 1897 in that Romanesque revival style. The main materials used were native Texas granite and red sandstone. There's a beautiful fountain on the north side of the courthouse there. It sits on the south side of the main plaza, which is said to be the center of life in the city. This is floodgate number 4, where you can see on the left and right how it comes up kind of like a drawbridge on the left and right. I'm going to honk the horn, so don't be alarmed. Now to the left, there's a 15-foot floodgate off in the distance. You can see how the water kind of drops off back there. It's about 240 miles to the Gulf. And to the right, it's said to be the oldest and longest bar on the Riverwalk at over 100 feet long. They have some really nice spirits behind the bar there. On the left, that's where you want to pay your gas and electric bill back in the 20s and 30s and 40s and maybe even the 50s. Drury Plaza, Drury Inn and Suites bought the property in 1998. There used to be a Texas Land and Cattle Steakhouse in the basement. Now that area's for lease. The chandeliers behind the glass on the left were underwater during the flood in 1921. Overhead on the right, all these businesses start here on the river, then they go underneath the street, and then they rise up to their full height there. This here on the right is the Aztec Theater. It was completed in 1927 for a little less than $2 million. It's a performance venue. The Dead South scheduled there in September. And in '66, 2 former students purchased the property. They opened La Posada Hotel just in time for the '68 World's Fair. Then in 2006, Omni acquired the property. Now they call it the Mansion. optical illusions. If you look up to the left of the boat, way up on the side there, that's what makes the hospital look like a freestanding wall. Here's the side angle down the southwest corner of the building. Back in 1930, that's the tallest and largest hospital in the United States. And a fine example of Gothic Romanesque architecture. Second hospital in the world with the pub was in the basement. Then there's the Joe's and the Landry's. Carol Burnett was born in the next hospital there. Her childhood home south down the river. Now it's a bed and breakfast. Straight ahead, that's a Hyatt Regency. It was finished up in 1981. Its height was limited to only 16 stories as to not cast a shadow on the Alamo. We're about a block west of the Alamo right now. If you need to get to the Alamo from here, you just have to go through those glass doors ahead of the boat at the base of the Hyatt Regency. Takes you about 300 steps to get there to the front door of the Alamo. Take 250 steps and turn right. Take, I don't know, 30 steps or so. You come to Francisco's. It's a pretty good ice cream store.
Yeah.
Up ahead on the right, the Casino Club building. That was finished in 1927. Back then was a social club. In 1942, Thomas Gilcrease purchased the property. He used it for his corporate office and the house's Western art collection. Eventually moved his collection to Tulsa. The building was mostly vacant for the 50s and 60s. Eventually converted into residential space. Back in 1691, when Spanish explorers discovered the mine. Up ahead on the right is the Casa Rio. It sits on land granted in 1777 by the King of Spain. The Spanish colonial estate became the door of the restaurant. The thick rock walls and cedar doors are still evident throughout the historic structure. We were the first to locate down here in 1946 and offer riverside and river bars dining. Harmonious. Sebastian finished up a little bit better one on northwest of our public library. That symbolizes equality between the many different cultural groups we have here in San Antonio. We just entered a man-made extension of the river, completed for the 68 World's Fair, so river taxis to take you to Hemisphere Park. Hemisphere Park's all the way through all the Seas, 100 acres. There's beautiful maintained plant life and artwork up there. Beautiful children's playgrounds, the bike rental kiosks. Public restrooms and water fountains. Just stuff that looks like Mayan ruins. You know, the Autonomous University of Mexico and the Cultural Institute of Mexico up there. And there's beautiful man-made waterfalls and a souvenir shop at the base of the Tower of the Americas. So it sits on the east side of Hemisphere Park. Straight ahead to the left a little bit is the Marriott River Center. The taller one there. It's a 1,001-room hotel connected to the mall. This sits on the site which was once the historic Fairmont Hotel from 1906. Due to the Fairmont's historic designation, it couldn't be torn down, so it was moved. H&H train service picked it up and set it on 36 derrick trailers. Drug it over south of the Hilton Casa del Rio and set it back down. That got him a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records back in 1985 for the largest building moved through city streets on pneumatic tires. I hope everybody had a nice, peaceful ride around the river. It's my pleasure driving you around. Tips are definitely allowed, accepted, and greatly appreciated. Please remain seated until I get the boat tied down so I can get you on your way in a nice, safe manner. I hope you all continue to have a wonderful afternoon down here, making beautiful memories of our Riverwalk and downtown area. Thanks for coming down to the river today.